Let's talk about one of life's simplest truths: nothing changes if nothing changes. It's as clear as it sounds, yet somehow we often look for results without considering the actions or lack of them that brought us here. Change doesn't happen by accident, it happens by choice, by intention, by the decisions we make day in and day out. Think about this: if you're on the same path, in the same routine, with the same habits, how can you expect new outcomes? It's like planting seeds. If you keep planting the same ones in the same soil, what do you get? The same crop every single time. To grow a different harvest, we must plant something new, something different. Now, here's the thing: change doesn't mean turning your life upside down overnight. Big changes are usually made from small, consistent adjustments. You don't start by leaping to the top of the mountain. You take the first step, then another, then 1,000 more. Maybe you start with a new habit, a new morning routine, a new way of looking at each day. Maybe you set a goal, a small one, that you can accomplish today, and tomorrow you do it again. The most valuable part of change isn't just reaching the destination, it's who you become on the way. Each small action, each conscious decision, molds you into a stronger, wiser, more capable person. With every effort, you're building the muscle of resilience, the character of discipline. You're creating the person who can handle not only the success, but also the setbacks, the tough times. Now, let's get practical. Identify one area where you're not seeing the results you want. Look at it squarely. Is it finances, health, relationships, or career? Ask yourself, what is one thing I can change in this area today? It doesn't have to be monumental, just actionable. Just one step in a new direction. The truth is, everyone wants better results, but are we willing to take different actions? Are we willing to push past our comfort zones? That's where real change happens. If you want something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. Remember, life doesn't just happen to us. We're not bystanders, we're the ones steering the ship. And the moment we realize that, everything opens up. Change one thing today and you change the trajectory of your life. And keep doing it, keep growing, keep stretching, and soon enough you'll look back and see just how far you've come. Change is a force that everyone wants, but few are willing to fully commit to, largely because change requires action. Real action, not just thoughts or good intentions. For most of us, it's easier to sit and think about what could be better or what we want to achieve, but then we fall back into the comfort of routine. Our goals, our dreams, these are the seeds of change, but they are only seeds. Without action, they'll remain dormant. Imagine a farmer who owns a handful of seeds but never plants them. He looks at the seeds, imagines the crop he could grow, but he never does the hard work of tilling the soil, watering the ground, and ensuring that growth happens. Inaction is a thief of progress, and while we may not recognize its grip in the moment, it holds us firmly in place. In every person's life, there comes a time when they know they need to change. It may be an area in health, relationships, finances, or personal development. But without action, all of those things remain stagnant. If you want to be healthier, sitting on the couch and thinking about working out won't make it happen. If you want a deeper connection with the people you love, simply hoping for it won't bring it into being. Every meaningful change in life requires a series of actions, often ones that demand effort, time, and sacrifice. Action, however, is uncomfortable. It stretches us out of our comfort zones. When we're used to doing things a certain way, even if those ways aren't good for us, they feel safe because they're familiar. That's why so many people talk about what they want to change in their lives, but rarely do anything about it. The daily grind of routines, patterns, and habits becomes almost a fortress around us, one that's challenging to break out of. And yet, it's only by stepping out of this fortress, by embracing the unfamiliar, that we allow the space for something new to grow. When we take action, especially in pursuit of change, it often requires us to confront ourselves in ways that can be difficult. We have to face the parts of us that are resistant, the inner voices that say, "What if you fail?" Or "You're not ready for this," but change never waits for readiness. It's an active process, not a passive one. Those who wait until they feel fully prepared often find that they wait forever, because true readiness only comes through experience. The first step is often imperfect, clumsy even, but it's the necessary spark that gets the fire of transformation going. One of the most profound truths about action is that it sets a chain of events into motion. Think of it like a domino effect. When you decide to take that first step, whether it's applying for a job, starting a fitness regimen, or committing to learn something new, each action creates momentum. This momentum, when sustained, gradually makes the hard work easier. What was once challenging begins to feel natural. Over time, your new actions become new habits, and those habits shape the outcomes in your life. Success in any area isn't about a single leap, but about consistent action, repeated over and over until it becomes part of who you are. The fear of change often stems from the fear of failure, but the truth is that failure is just part of the learning curve. People often hesitate to act because they're worried about making mistakes or not achieving immediate results. But failure is a teacher, an essential part of growth. Each time you take action, you're giving yourself the chance to learn something new. Even if things don't go as planned, each setback provides insights, adjustments, and a deeper understanding of what's needed to move forward. Those who avoid action because of fear are denying themselves the opportunity to learn and evolve. They're trying to avoid the discomfort of growth, but growth, by its very nature, is uncomfortable. Another thing to consider is the energy that action brings. We've all felt that spark of enthusiasm after a good workout, a completed project, or a step forward in the right direction. Taking action doesn't just affect the external results, it also profoundly impacts how we feel internally. The sense of accomplishment, even if it's small, creates a positive cycle. Each action boosts confidence, and that confidence becomes the fuel to take the next step. This positive cycle is the true power behind consistent action. It's the reason people can transform their lives bit by bit, because each small victory builds the belief that change is possible. Yet, action requires discipline. There's an old saying that champions are made in the dark, away from the crowd. It's the unseen effort, the small actions that aren't applauded, that truly shape success. Action, then, is not just about the bold moves that everyone notices. It's about the quiet, consistent efforts that are sustained even when no one is watching. It's about choosing to act when it's easier to sit back. It's about persevering in the moments when it would be simpler to give up. This kind of discipline is not something people are born with. It's cultivated, built over time with each choice to keep moving forward. The challenge with action is that it demands accountability. When you commit to change, you also commit to holding yourself accountable. It's easy to drift along when we don't take ownership of our actions. But when you make the decision to change, to really embrace it, you're saying to yourself, I am responsible for this journey. This level of accountability is empowering, even if it feels daunting at first. It means you're not waiting for someone else to rescue you or for circumstances to shift in your favor. Instead, you're taking charge and creating the circumstances you desire. One of the most underestimated aspects of taking action is the influence it has on others. When you decide to change, especially when you start seeing results, it doesn't just affect you, it ripples out to those around you. Family, friends, colleagues, they all notice, and often they're inspired to make changes in their own lives. Actions speak louder than words, as the saying goes. By taking control of your own path, by moving forward with conviction, you may very well be the catalyst for change in someone else's life. People watch what you do, and your actions set an example that words alone cannot. Inaction, on the other hand, reinforces complacency. The more we delay, the harder it becomes to get started. Habits form and solidify, and each day that passes without change makes it easier to stay in the same place. It's like a weight that becomes heavier the longer you hold it. But action, even if it's small, relieves that weight. It breaks the cycle of procrastination, loosening the grip of inertia. Every step forward becomes a step away from stagnation, a move toward progress and self-empowerment. The reality is that we often don't realize the impact of our actions until we're well into the journey. At the start, the steps may feel insignificant. Waking up earlier, reading one chapter a day, saving a small portion of our income, it might seem trivial, but these actions compound. Over time, they build upon each other, and before you know it, you've created a new reality for yourself. This is the beauty of action. It may not look like much in the beginning, but its effects are transformative. As you take consistent action, your mindset also shifts. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to quit and start seeing them as challenges to overcome. You become more solution-oriented, more resilient. Each obstacle conquered reinforces the belief that you can handle whatever comes next. This kind of resilience is only developed through experience, and experience only comes through action. By moving forward, you gain the perspective to handle greater challenges with greater ease. Every successful person will tell you that they owe their achievements to the actions they took, even when it wasn't easy. They kept moving forward, one step at a time, until the small actions added up to something meaningful. They weren't necessarily the most talented, the most intelligent, or the luckiest. They were the ones who acted, who made the decision to change and stuck with it. This is a truth available to all of us, but only those willing to take action, even in the face of uncertainty, will experience its rewards. In the end, action is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. The dreamers stay in the realm of someday, while those who act are out there, creating the life they envision. The difference is in the doing, the effort, the willingness to step forward despite the fears, the doubts, and the unknowns. Because ultimately, nothing changes if nothing changes. Every action you take is a vote for the life you want to live. Change is one of the most sought-after goals in life, but it often feels intimidating, as if it requires a complete overhaul of our entire world in one swift move. But here's a truth that can alter our understanding of progress. Small steps lead to big changes. Transformation doesn't have to come from giant leaps. In fact, it's often the small, deliberate actions that create lasting impact. When we understand that every small choice, every small step is moving us closer to our goal, we shift from feeling overwhelmed by the size of our dreams to becoming empowered by the incremental actions that bring them to life. Now consider the concept of compound interest in finance. A small investment made consistently over time can grow into a substantial sum, and the same principle applies to personal growth and life goals. Just as each dollar saved and invested compounds, each small action compounds over time, growing and accumulating results. Initially, the impact of small steps may be invisible, almost insignificant, like putting away a few coins each day. But over time, these small actions build upon each other, multiplying in ways that can lead to remarkable achievements. This compounding effect is one of the most powerful forces in any journey toward change, yet it often goes unnoticed because we're trained to focus on instant results. The beauty of small steps is that they are accessible. Anyone can take a small step. Let's say you want to get in shape. For many people, the thought of an intense workout regimen is overwhelming. But what if you just start with a 10-minute walk each day? That small step is manageable, achievable, and something you can commit to without feeling defeated before you even begin. Over time, that 10-minute walk might turn into 20 minutes, then 30, and eventually lead you to other forms of exercise. By taking that first step, you set a new pattern in motion. The small action of walking each day becomes a part of your lifestyle, a foundation on which other healthy habits can be built. In our fast-paced, results-driven society, we're often taught to believe that big achievements require monumental actions. But that belief can be limiting, even paralyzing, because it makes us feel that, unless we're ready to make a massive change, there's no point in trying. The irony is that when we take small, consistent actions, they can have a snowball effect, leading to big outcomes over time. This approach requires patience, yes, but it also requires faith in the process. We must trust that each small effort is not wasted, but is instead contributing to something larger. Another example is in the realm of learning and skill acquisition. Imagine wanting to learn a new language. Starting from zero, the task seems daunting. However, committing to just 15 minutes a day of studying vocabulary or practicing sentences can build up over time. Those 15 minutes might seem trivial, but by the end of a month, you'll have invested 7 hours in learning. By the end of a year, those small daily actions amount to over 90 hours of study. Gradually, your knowledge accumulates, and before you know it, you're able to hold basic conversations. Small, consistent actions make it possible to achieve what initially felt out of reach. It's the small steps done consistently over time that transform a novice into someone with genuine proficiency. This approach is also incredibly effective for building better habits. Let's take the example of wanting to read more. Many people aspire to read, but they find it difficult to dedicate an hour or more each day to the task. Yet, if you commit to reading just one page a day, you start a habit that's easy to keep. One page may seem insignificant, but as it becomes part of your daily routine, you're likely to find yourself reading 2, then 5, then 10 pages a day. Soon the habit of reading becomes ingrained, and it no longer feels like an effort. This small daily act of reading creates a ripple effect, increasing your knowledge, expanding your perspective, and eventually making reading a natural part of your day. Small steps also help overcome one of the biggest obstacles to change: resistance. When the steps are too big, resistance is strong and we're more likely to procrastinate or give up. But when the action is small and manageable, resistance weakens. It's harder to find an excuse to avoid taking a small step, and once you start moving, momentum builds. By keeping action small, we bypass the resistance that often comes with change. That's why breaking down large goals into smaller, actionable steps can be so effective. Each small step feels achievable, and over time we've moved farther than we might have imagined. The power of small steps is also evident in the way they shape our mindset. When we take small actions toward a goal, we begin to view ourselves as capable of change. This shift in self-perception is essential because it reinforces the belief that we can indeed accomplish what we set out to do. Each time we follow through on a small action, we build confidence. We start to see ourselves not as passive observers of our lives, but as active participants who are creating our own outcomes. This change in mindset is profound because it fuels further action. With each small success, we become more empowered, more motivated, and more willing to keep moving forward. One of the greatest benefits of small steps is that they encourage consistency. Grand actions might produce immediate results, but they're often difficult to sustain. Small actions, on the other hand, are easier to integrate into daily life. This consistency is key because it's not the occasional big effort, but the regular, sustained actions that produce lasting change. Consistency reinforces the new patterns we're creating. By taking small steps each day, we create a rhythm, a pattern that aligns with our goals. This consistency is the backbone of progress. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up day after day, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Moreover, small steps cultivate resilience. Big actions can be exhausting, and when they don't yield instant success, it's easy to feel discouraged. Small steps, however, allow us to pace ourselves. They give us the chance to regroup, to adjust, and to continue without feeling overwhelmed. By focusing on small steps, we learn to handle setbacks with patience and determination. We become resilient because we're no longer dependent on immediate results. We're invested in the process itself. This resilience is crucial for long-term success because the journey of change is rarely smooth or straightforward. It has its ups and downs, but by focusing on small steps, we build the resilience to keep going. Small steps also allow for flexibility. When we're focused on one massive leap, any deviation from the plan can feel like a failure. But with small steps, there's room for adjustment. If one approach isn't working, it's easy to try a different one without losing momentum. This flexibility is valuable because it allows us to respond to challenges with creativity and adaptability. We're able to refine our approach as we learn more rather than feeling locked into one rigid path. Small steps offer us the freedom to experiment, to learn from our experiences, and to keep progressing in a way that aligns with our evolving goals. When we adopt the mindset that small steps lead to big changes, we also open ourselves up to gratitude. Each small accomplishment, no matter how minor it may seem, becomes a reason to celebrate. We start to see progress in the little things, in the everyday actions that are moving us forward. This shift in focus from the big goal to the daily journey creates a sense of fulfillment. We're no longer waiting for some distant achievement to feel successful. We're finding success in each small step we take. This sense of gratitude is empowering because it reminds us that progress is happening here and now. In relationships, the impact of small steps is equally powerful. Building strong, meaningful relationships doesn't happen overnight. It's the small, consistent gestures that create trust and connection. Taking the time to listen, showing appreciation, offering a helping hand, these are small actions, but they lay the foundation for deep, lasting bonds. Relationships flourish when we invest in them regularly, and small steps make that investment possible. Each act of kindness, each moment of attention, strengthens the connection, turning acquaintances into friendships, and friendships into something truly meaningful. In work and career, small steps can lead to big breakthroughs as well. Mastery in any field is rarely the result of one big accomplishment. It's the product of consistent learning, daily practice, and small improvements over time. Each small effort to learn, to improve, to take on new challenges builds up over time, creating a foundation for expertise. When we commit to small steps in our professional lives, we're also building a reputation for reliability and growth. We're positioning ourselves as people who are constantly improving, and that steady progress opens doors to new opportunities and advancements. Ultimately, small steps teach us patience. In a world that often values instant gratification, the practice of taking small steps reminds us that real growth requires time. Patience is a virtue that's essential for long-term success because it allows us to endure the wait, to trust the process, and to keep moving forward even when the results aren't immediately visible. Small steps encourage us to slow down, to appreciate the journey, and to understand that every moment is part of our progress. By focusing on small steps, we avoid the burnout that often comes with trying to change too much too quickly. Instead, we're able to build momentum gradually in a way that's sustainable. Each small step brings us closer to our goals without overwhelming us. The process becomes one of joy rather than stress, one of fulfillment rather than frustration. When we focus on small steps, we create a pathway to change that's not only achievable but also enjoyable. Growth is often seen as something we achieve, a destination to arrive at, but the truth is that growth is a continuous process, not merely a point to reach. It is an ongoing journey that shapes who we are, evolving gradually over time, rather than a final state that signifies we're done. In life, we're constantly faced with experiences and challenges that shape us, that push us to question who we are and where we're going. Each of these moments, big or small, contributes to our growth, reminding us that we're always a work in progress, capable of becoming more, learning more, and refining ourselves with each step. Growth is not a quick fix, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. Real, lasting change requires time, patience, and consistent effort. Just as a seed grows into a tree through gradual stages of development, so do we as individuals. If we rush through this process trying to force ourselves to change rapidly, we often end up disappointed or burnt out. Growth is subtle, it works beneath the surface, often without us even noticing the transformation. Imagine a tree that grows slowly over the years, rooted in place, absorbing sunlight and nutrients, reaching upward branch by branch. Each leaf, each layer of bark, is a testament to the years it took to grow strong and resilient. We, too, grow like this, incrementally, steadily, and deeply. The path to personal growth is filled with moments of triumph, but it is also filled with moments of challenge and struggle. And it is often in these challenging moments that we experience the most profound growth. When we face obstacles, our resilience is tested, and we're forced to dig deep within ourselves to find strength, wisdom, or creativity we didn't know we possessed. These are the times when growth is most real, where we shed old patterns or outdated beliefs and make room for something new. We may stumble, we may even fail, but with each failure, we're given an opportunity to learn, to try again with a little more insight, a little more patience. In this way, growth is built on the accumulation of our experiences, on our willingness to keep going, even when the journey feels difficult or uncertain. The process of growth also requires a degree of humility. To grow, we must be open to feedback, to learning from others, and to recognizing that we don't have all the answers. This can be difficult because it requires us to be vulnerable, to admit that we're not perfect, that we have room to improve. Yet it is precisely this humility that allows us to truly grow. When we're open to learning, to acknowledging our limitations in areas where we can improve, we make space for growth to take place. We shift from a mindset of "I know enough" to "I am always learning," and that shift transforms how we experience the world. Instead of viewing growth as a finish line to cross, we begin to see it as a path we're always on, as an opportunity to evolve continuously. One of the essential elements of the growth process is self-reflection. Taking time to reflect on our experiences, our reactions, and our decisions helps us to understand ourselves better. When we pause to think about our actions, we gain insight into why we behave the way we do, and this insight allows us to make conscious choices about who we want to become. Self-reflection is like looking in a mirror, seeing both our strengths and our weaknesses, and then deciding to make the necessary changes. It's in these moments of introspection that real growth happens, as we acknowledge what we've done well and where we still need to improve. Without self-reflection, growth remains superficial, lacking the depth that comes from genuinely understanding ourselves. Growth as a process also teaches us to appreciate the journey rather than obsess over the destination. Often we get so caught up in reaching our goals that we forget to enjoy the moments along the way. But true growth happens in the small, everyday moments, in the quiet decisions we make, in the habits we form, in the ways we choose to respond to challenges. When we focus solely on the end result, we miss out on the richness of the experience. But when we embrace growth as a process, we begin to see the value in each step, in each lesson learned, in each moment of progress, no matter how small. We start to understand that every step forward, even the smallest one, is an accomplishment worth celebrating. There is a beauty in the gradual nature of growth because it allows us to savor the process, to take things one step at a time. Growth isn't a race, it's more like a marathon where pacing, endurance, and persistence are key. It's about making steady progress, about learning to enjoy each phase of the journey without feeling rushed to reach the end. This approach not only makes the process more enjoyable, but also allows us to absorb each lesson fully, to integrate each new insight into our lives before moving on. When we allow ourselves to grow at a natural pace, we build a strong foundation that can support even greater growth in the future. Furthermore, growth as a process means that it's unique to each individual. No two people grow in exactly the same way or at the same pace, and that's a good thing. Each person's growth journey is shaped by their unique experiences, perspectives, and choices. Some may grow quickly in certain areas, while others may take longer, but each path is valid, each pace is appropriate for the individual. Comparing our growth to others is not only unproductive, but also unnecessary. Growth is personal, a reflection of who we are and who we're becoming. It's not about meeting some external standard or expectation, it's about becoming the best version of ourselves, on our terms, in our own time. Growth as a process also means embracing change and uncertainty. As we grow, we often encounter situations that push us out of our comfort zones, that challenge our understanding of ourselves and the world. These moments of change and uncertainty can be uncomfortable, even frightening, but they are essential for growth. It's in these moments of discomfort that we're stretched, that we're encouraged to expand our perspectives, to consider new possibilities. When we view growth as a process, we become more willing to embrace these moments, recognizing that they're not disruptions but opportunities for us to evolve. Moreover, growth is not linear. It doesn't happen in a straight line or at a steady pace. There will be times when we feel like we're making great strides, followed by periods where it seems like we're standing still or even moving backward. This is a normal part of the process, a reflection of the complexity of growth. Sometimes we need to pause to consolidate what we've learned, to let the new insights sink in before we're ready to move forward again. These periods of stillness are not setbacks, but necessary phases in the journey of growth. They give us time to rest, to reflect, and to gather our strength for the next stage of the journey. Growth as a process also means that there's no end point, no final destination where we're done growing. We may reach certain goals or achieve certain milestones, but there's always more to learn, more ways to grow. This doesn't mean that we're never satisfied or that we're constantly striving for more, but rather that we're open to the ongoing evolution of who we are. Each stage of life brings new opportunities for growth, new challenges to overcome, new lessons to learn. When we embrace growth as a lifelong process, we're able to approach each stage with curiosity and openness, knowing that each experience contributes to our journey. As we continue on the path of growth, we also begin to realize that true growth is as much about giving as it is about receiving. As we grow, we develop wisdom, empathy, and skills that we can share with others. We begin to see that our growth is not just for our benefit, but also for the benefit of those around us. When we grow, we inspire others to grow as well, creating a ripple effect that spreads far beyond our immediate circle. This awareness adds a new dimension to our growth journey, one that is not just about self-improvement, but about contributing to the world in a meaningful way. Throughout this journey, we also learn to appreciate the power of resilience. Growth often requires us to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going when things get tough. Resilience is what keeps us moving forward, what helps us to pick ourselves up after a fall. And each time we overcome a challenge, each time we persist in the face of adversity, we become stronger, more capable. Resilience is like a muscle that grows stronger with use. And as we grow, we build this muscle, preparing ourselves for whatever challenges may come next. In this way, growth becomes a cycle of learning, applying, and growing again. Each experience adds to our understanding. Each lesson prepares us for the next. We learn not to fear the unknown, but to approach it with a sense of wonder and possibility. Growth teaches us to trust ourselves, to believe in our ability to adapt and thrive. It shows us that we're capable of far more than we might have initially thought, that we have within us the strength, wisdom, and resilience to keep evolving. Ultimately, growth as a process is about embracing the journey, about finding joy in the act of becoming. It's about recognizing that we're always changing, always moving forward, even if only by small steps. It's about seeing the value in each moment, each lesson, each challenge. Growth is not something we achieve once and for all. It's something we live, something we experience in every choice, every action, every day. It's a process that unfolds over a lifetime, one that continuously shapes who we are and who we're becoming. Each moment, each experience adds to our growth, creating a journey that is as rewarding as it is transformative. When it comes to personal growth and progress, one of the most valuable approaches is to identify and focus on a single area of improvement at a time. While it may seem tempting to tackle everything at once, especially when there are multiple aspects of life that we'd like to enhance, the power of single-minded focus on one particular area is often far more effective. Concentrating our energy, attention, and resources on a single goal creates a clarity of purpose that spreads into every action we take, enabling real, lasting progress. When we attempt to improve too many things simultaneously, our efforts are scattered. Instead of making significant strides in any one direction, we often end up making minimal progress in many. This diffuses our momentum, leaving us feeling overwhelmed or even discouraged because the results aren't as immediate or noticeable as we'd like. However, when we hone in on one area, we build a focused plan and commit to steady, incremental progress. This dedicated approach to a specific goal enables deeper engagement and understanding, empowering us to address it more thoroughly and effectively. Choosing a single area to improve involves honest self-reflection. We must take stock of where we are, assessing different aspects of our lives and recognizing which areas need the most attention. This might include personal health, financial stability, relationships, professional skills, or emotional resilience. The selection process itself is a practice in humility and realism, as we acknowledge our limitations and understand that true change takes time and concentrated effort. By reflecting honestly, we gain clarity on our priorities, establishing a deeper connection with what really matters to us. Perhaps, for instance, we find that our physical health needs attention. Realizing this doesn't mean we neglect other parts of our life, but that we prioritize this single area for improvement, knowing that progress here can have a positive ripple effect elsewhere. Enhancing our health could improve energy levels, mental clarity, emotional balance, and ultimately increase productivity and resilience. This concentrated approach is about addressing the most pressing needs so we can become more effective in all aspects of our lives. The process of focusing on one area of improvement encourages us to set clear, achievable goals. When we know what we're aiming for, the path to get there becomes much more defined, instead of vague ambitions like getting fit. A more specific goal could be running 3 times a week for 30 minutes or preparing healthy meals every evening. Having specific, tangible goals clarifies what success looks like, making it easier to measure our progress and adjust our approach as needed. Small, manageable goals also prevent us from feeling overwhelmed and help build momentum. Each time we accomplish a task or reach a milestone, it reinforces our commitment, giving us the confidence and motivation to keep moving forward. This accumulation of small victories is a powerful force. It's a constant reminder that progress is happening, even if it's gradual. Acknowledging these small achievements creates positive reinforcement, motivating us to continue striving toward our larger objective. As we hit each milestone, we also become more skilled and knowledgeable about the area we're improving, which further enhances our ability to succeed. One of the most powerful aspects of focusing on one area is the depth of learning and self-awareness it brings. When we commit ourselves to a specific area of growth, we naturally develop a deeper understanding of that part of our lives. We learn about the underlying causes of any challenges we face, gaining insights into our habits, triggers, strengths, and weaknesses. This depth of focus enables us to address root issues rather than just surface symptoms. For example, if we're focusing on improving financial stability, we might discover that it's not simply about earning more, but about managing spending habits, handling stress that leads to impulse purchases, or building healthier attitudes toward money. Focusing on a single area of improvement also allows us to allocate our resources, time, energy, and even finances more effectively. By dedicating ourselves to one pursuit, we eliminate distractions and minimize the mental load associated with juggling multiple goals. This clear focus reduces stress and creates space for deeper engagement, enabling us to give our full attention to each step of the process. The brain functions more efficiently when it isn't constantly shifting between different tasks, and by concentrating on one area, we're able to tap into this efficiency. Our energy and resources are no longer spread thin, allowing us to work more effectively and enjoy the process more fully. Furthermore, focusing on a single area creates the opportunity for sustained momentum and habit building. Consistency is one of the key drivers of lasting change, and when we focus on one area, we're able to build routines that reinforce our goals day by day. Establishing consistent practices helps turn our new behaviors into habits that require less conscious effort over time. As these habits solidify, we become more confident in our ability to make positive changes, which reinforces our commitment and builds a strong foundation for future growth. This steady momentum makes the process feel more natural and sustainable, as our new habits become an integral part of our lifestyle. For instance, if we focus on improving productivity, we might start by setting a morning routine that includes planning the day ahead, prioritizing tasks, and minimizing distractions. As we repeat these actions daily, they become second nature, allowing us to build on this foundation with additional productivity-enhancing habits over time. By focusing on one area, we give ourselves the gift of consistency, which is crucial for turning short-term improvements into long-lasting transformation. In the journey of focusing on one area for improvement, setbacks and challenges are inevitable, but they provide valuable lessons that contribute to our growth. When we encounter obstacles, we have the opportunity to reflect on what went wrong, adjust our approach, and refine our strategies. This process of trial and error is essential for growth, as it allows us to adapt and become more resilient. Setbacks aren't failures, but stepping stones that teach us valuable lessons about our chosen area of focus and about ourselves. They encourage us to dig deeper, to be patient with ourselves, and to keep moving forward even when progress seems slow. Every challenge we overcome strengthens our resolve and reinforces our commitment to the goal. The process of adapting and persevering in the face of obstacles also builds resilience, a quality that serves us well not only in our current pursuit but in all future endeavors. By embracing setbacks as opportunities for learning, we become more equipped to handle challenges, making us stronger and more capable of achieving our goals. As we work on one area of improvement, we often notice positive changes spilling over into other aspects of our lives. Growth in one area can have a transformative impact on our overall mindset, attitude, and lifestyle. For example, improving our physical health can boost our energy levels, enhance our mood, and improve our focus, all of which contribute to greater productivity and satisfaction in our professional and personal lives. Similarly, developing financial discipline can increase our sense of security, reduce stress, and enable us to pursue other passions or hobbies. This ripple effect highlights the interconnectedness of different areas of our lives and demonstrates that focusing on one goal doesn't mean neglecting others. On the contrary, progress in one area can serve as a catalyst for positive change in many others, enhancing our overall quality of life and fostering a sense of balance and harmony. Ultimately, the practice of focusing on one area of improvement cultivates a mindset of patience and persistence. Real, meaningful change takes time, and by dedicating ourselves to a single goal, we learn the value of steady, incremental progress. This approach reminds us that we don't have to rush or achieve everything at once. Growth is a journey, not a race, and by embracing this journey with patience, we develop a greater appreciation for the process itself. The rewards of focused, intentional effort go beyond the specific goal we're working toward. They enrich our character, strengthen our resilience, and deepen our understanding of ourselves. Each step forward is a testament to our commitment, our willingness to learn and adapt, and our determination to become the best version of ourselves. In time, as we achieve our chosen goal, we're able to reflect on the journey with pride and gratitude. We can look back and see how far we've come, recognizing the small, consistent actions that led to meaningful change. This sense of accomplishment motivates us to continue growing, to apply the same principles of focus and dedication to new areas of our lives. With each success, we become more confident in our ability to set and achieve goals, fostering a cycle of growth and self-improvement that lasts a lifetime. The journey of focusing on one area of improvement is not just about reaching a particular destination. It's about embracing the power of single-minded focus, learning to appreciate the process of growth, and building the resilience and discipline needed to achieve our dreams. Taking responsibility for steering your life is perhaps one of the most transformative decisions you can make. When you choose to take full ownership of your life, your actions, and your choices, you unlock a profound level of empowerment. This commitment to self-accountability is the foundation upon which personal growth, resilience, and success are built. Often people fall into the trap of believing that life is something that merely happens to them, that external circumstances, luck, or other people are the primary drivers of where they end up. But the truth is, the trajectory of your life is largely shaped by the choices you make and the attitude you bring to those choices. And acknowledging that you are the one responsible for guiding your path means that, while you may not control every event or outcome, you absolutely control how you respond, adapt, and use each experience to fuel your journey. Embracing this responsibility also means accepting that there will be challenges, setbacks, and difficult moments. Life is filled with uncertainties and unexpected turns, and these situations often test our resolve. However, when you recognize that you're responsible for navigating through these times, it becomes clear that each setback or hardship is an opportunity to learn and grow. Rather than allowing challenging circumstances to derail your progress, you can use them to build resilience, sharpen your skills, and deepen your understanding of who you are and what you're capable of overcoming. Every obstacle, no matter how daunting, carries within it the potential for growth and self-improvement. By choosing to take responsibility for how you handle these challenges, you cultivate a mindset of strength and resilience, equipping yourself to navigate whatever life brings with greater confidence and purpose. Taking responsibility also requires a commitment to honesty and self-reflection. It's easy to blame others or external factors when things don't go as planned, but when you shift that focus inward, you can start to see the areas where you have influence. By looking at your own actions, decisions, and behaviors with clarity and honesty, you gain a true understanding of the impact you have on your life's direction. This self-awareness is crucial because it enables you to identify areas for improvement, recognize unhelpful patterns, and build habits that support your goals. Each time you pause to evaluate your actions honestly, you're better positioned to make adjustments and move closer to the life you want to create. It's about recognizing that, while you may not be able to change the past, you have the power to shape the future. Taking responsibility in this way frees you from the weight of blame, allowing you to channel your energy into constructive actions rather than dwelling on circumstances outside of you. When you take responsibility for steering your life, you also develop a sense of purpose and direction. Rather than drifting through life, reacting to events as they come, you begin to set clear intentions and goals. By actively choosing the direction in which you want to go, you create a roadmap that gives meaning to your actions. Each decision you make and every step you take is guided by this purpose, giving you a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction that can only come from pursuing something meaningful. This sense of purpose is not only a source of motivation, it serves as a compass that keeps you on track even when the journey becomes difficult. Taking responsibility for your life means aligning your actions with your values and goals, creating a life that is authentic and meaningful to you.